Okay, hello there, and welcome to Stress and Purpose in Life. This is the podcast for you guys that are on a journey to find your or are in the transformation path and get inspired by others to join in on finding the stressless life and also to feel that you all have great meaning and purpose in your life. So. And for this episode, this is truly special one. We're diving into the transformative power of listening to your heart. So that's a practice that can guide us through life, actually, and through tougher challenges, and also to lead us towards true healing and purpose. And joining us today is our extraordinary guest. Her name is Eleonora Grace Heart, and she's a woman of remarkable resilience and wisdom. She has faced great losses and also countless traumas, including losing her husband and realizing that she was trapped in a bad karma. Yet through it all, she discovered through profound strength within herself and reconnecting to her heart and reclaiming her path. So in this episode, we will explore the journey she has gone through and uncover how we also can find our way to healing and also to live more purpose in tune with our wisdom within. So get ready to get inspired. And I would like to warmly welcome you, Eleonora. And how are you today? Are you
I
excited
am
about this,
amazing.
sharing your
Yes,
thoughts
I am
and expertise?
excited. Thank you very much, first of all, Stina, about this and opportunity to be on your show. It's amazing, and I'm really honored from
Yeah,
the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
great. So if we can start off by telling you, us, the listeners, and also me, myself, I know you a little bit, not as much as I would like to. So just a bit about yourself. I think it's always so inspiring to hear where everyone's journey begins, and also get a glimpse of the persons
Yeah.
behind the story. So just who are you, and let me just tell your journey just shortly in a quick.
Thanks. Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. Who am I? Who am I? Is my name is of course Eleonora Grace Heart, but I grew up in the Philippines and I moved to Africa and I lived there for 12 years with my parents, and that's where I met my ex-husband, and I moved here to Canada, and I lived here for over 22 years, and I had children here. I had 4 kids, and through those moments, yeah, I went through a lot of tough times in my life, different kinds of situation, different stories, and from there I started writing my book, and I published them as well, and many books that I co-author with other authors as well, and yeah, and we became international bestsellers too. Yeah, and I studied psychology. It's my background, and I also studied quantum consciousness, combination of spirituality, consciousness, beyond logic, beyond psychology, and I combine psychology as well in there. Yeah, I'm a published author, and yeah, and I'm a mother too of 4 kids. Yeah, just I
Yeah,
mentioned before. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you have a
So
lot.
here I
You
am.
Yeah, but you have a lot going on. It is really a great role model for women, I think, because having a
Mhm.
lot of kids and having the traumas. I remember that you told me something that, I mean, you have gone through a lot of traumas as well. And
Yeah.
I was like, was there a specific moment or experience that you realized that you needed to listen to your inner voice? And was it like that you hit rock bottom somewhere? And it must have been some kind of fundamental realization there. It's something that so many people struggle with, and hearing from their own voices above the noise. What
Yeah.
was that for you? What was a shift for you in your life?
Well, my story is a little bit different. And to say that boldly, it's because I started when I was 5 years old, hearing the voice of my truth journey. Right, I didn't understand it then because it's already asking me, "Who am I?" I was asking and observing people. What's the difference between a rich man and a poor man, and what's my purpose. And from 5 years old to 11, I keep asking the same question, but it went deeper and deeper. And one of my lowest point was in my story that began the enough is enough. I need to discover who I am. Is when my own parents almost sold me to not my parent, more like my mother specifically, to human trafficking.
Mm.
And that developed a trust issue, towards my mom, because she's supposed to be my safety, person to be with. And as a child, you were I had a lot of fear because we were bombarded with so many information, who we should be, what we should do, and all of that stuff. So those were my lowest moment, like questioning myself, am I enough? Am I really enough
Mm.
with these questions? And from there, I also lost my son when he was 14 years old to suicide. And
Yeah.
I lost my marriage of 20 years with my ex-husband. And it was a wonderful marriage. At the same time, the rest of the 10 years of my marriage, it went spiraling down. And I explained that in my book too, like, like divorce is okay, making sure you're not, you know you making sure you don't lose yourself in loving someone,
No.
and recognizing who you truly are. And then I lost my partner after divorce too. So many losses, like you mentioned, like shockwaves of
Mm.
loss. And it's to the point it's not even funny, like
No.
really question myself. Like those were my lowest moments,
I
and
can
then
imagine.
yeah. And then
And there's
culture, you're traveling different parts of country,
Yeah,
because I
you
live
told me
in
that
a
as well. Yeah, you have been on in different cultural backgrounds. You have, again, not multicultural background, right? You have
yeah,
lots of different influences from other people from different
yeah,
cultures, right? So,
exactly, yeah,
so that's a really interesting post. The next question is actually about that because you mentioned trafficking, and I can't imagine that from your mother.
mm,
It must
yeah,
be. I mean, the trust and everything. You have the mother to have her to love you, and if you have
hmm,
something that this happened, I can't imagine the feeling that you've gone through in that to recover from something like that. But if you then think about that and also the other things that you have experienced through trauma and also the external expectations, I mean, they could have differed depending on the culture you were in and country you were, but following your heart, right? So so would it be like did you have some quiet you said you had some voice within you that told you how to find your purpose all through life, but would you describe the difference between following your heart and having the noise from others? I mean, you can always have thoughts from other people that you're not even
mm,
yeah, don't think about it anyway, but you
yeah,
have them in your subconscious because you have learned something about yourself. You
mm,
told me about self-esteem and the low points that you didn't believe in yourself,
yeah.
but then still following your heart. I mean, how do you describe that difference for you? That difference to change that to be
Well,
you following your
the
heart.
difference, yeah, that's a great question. How to know the difference, with the from following the voice of your heart, or
Yeah,
the voice of the noise of the world, right?
absolutely.
Well, the difference is your heart never lies to you, even, and it feels like the truth, because the truth will always pulls you toward your heart. And the truth will, you'll never mess it up. But when, if it's
Mm,
based on lies, like the world is bombarding you with who you should be, how you should walk, how you should smell, how you should dress, it feels like it's kind of, I don't really want to use the word lies. It's more like you're faking it till you make it kind of attitude, but it's not really you. It's not authentic, because you feel like you're living somebody else's truth, thinking it's yours, to the point you're living a lie, because it takes 90 days for people to make the lies into truth. But we don't know that, because
mm,
nobody taught us that, and
no,
within those 90 days you need to be careful how we really know the difference between the lies and the truth, because the lies will eventually feel like, you feel like you're not wearing your own clothes. It feels like it's not
mm,
your, it doesn't fit in your own skin, it doesn't feel right. And that's knowing the difference is. And I can go even deeper with that, with the voice, and for some of us are not open to the voice of the universe. I don't want to call it God, or you can call it God, whatever you want, or angels. For me, I call it, my guardian angels
Mm.
would connect with my heart, like stuff like that. And this voice will always lead me towards the truth by asking me questions, and that's how I know, is asking me powerful questions, even to the point that, that I lost my son. For
Yeah.
example, with that scenario is like, I asked the universe, like, why you did not rescue him, why you rescued me when I used to be suicidal too, when I was at that age, 15, 16, like that, but you didn't rescue my son. And then the voice of truth, I call it the voice of truth,
Yeah.
voice of truth had an inner dialogue within me, and asked me powerful question, and answered, who are you, and what are you going to do with this role in your life, and the role that your son played when he played the suicidal role. Who
Yeah.
are you, how are you going to spread the word to other people? And that, for me, it was a turning point, how to shift my focus, and how to shift my inspired actions. Like, you're right, who am
Yeah.
I? What am I gonna do with this scenario? Do I stay grieving, or do I do something about it in order to bring the awareness of suicide awareness out there to young people? Because
Mm.
I was once like them. I used to
Yeah.
be suicidal too. And to my surprise, there was a lot of suicidal children that came to my home. They felt safe, and I had to make sure the parents, to connect with the parents. Hey, your kids is not running away, they're in my home,
Mm.
and they're okay, they're just expressing who they are. And then this taught me a lesson about parenting as well, how to be a
Mm.
conscious parent versus unconscious parents.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You have. I was when I planned to introduce you. You're really warm-hearted and caring, And
Oh,
I think
thanks.
it's no coincidence that your name is Heart, because you have a big heart.
Oh,
Amazing.
thank you.
So, and
Yeah.
I can imagine. I also realized that from what you from our pre-interview that you talked about these people with bad karma, and
Mm,
I think that you're mentioning two things here that's really interesting because you mentioned about talking about your purpose and asking the right questions to find your purpose. And
yeah.
then you have the people that had the influence on you and bad karmas that perhaps stopped that process. So,
Yeah.
well, that's quite fascinating, that concept with bad karma, because it isn't even ours, and it must be like free moment when you realize that and you like, take control of that. So, can you share that process with me? Because I can imagine that the karma also has to do with negative thinking about yourself, but you realize now that the people are the ones that have influenced you to think negative, and also the actions and the traumas that you've been through. It was
Mm-hmm.
people around you that also made an influence on that they were their karma, right? As I understood from you. So
Yeah.
can you give us through the process where you like realized that you were following other people's karma, and what did you do what were steps to free yourself from that?
First of all, let me define karma. Karma is both negative and positive, and there's both natural consequences,
Yeah.
positively and negatively, psychologically speaking. And for karma in your own life, because karma is in simple word is patterns, data. So what is your data, or what is your patterns in your own life? As meaning, as what is your karma? Are you in a loop, or are you in a good karma that you're in your way to your healing journey, or are you stuck in a loop? So in order to really get out of someone else's karma or your own karma that you created yourself, is, yes, powerful question through your awareness. That's number one. you
Yeah.
know and then how do you know that you're in someone else's karma? It's because of the pain. Pain will always be there, but the pain starting to turn to suffering, and suffering is a choice, and so is healing. But pain is just a pattern that we all naturally has to go through in life, because without it we can't define who we truly are without pain. But how do you turn the pain into purpose? That's the big question, right? Always ask
Yeah,
yourself powerful questions once you are aware you are in someone else's karma or you are creating your own karma. And that's powerful. Other powerful question is that ask yourself a powerful question, meaning, what part of me allowing me to create my own bad karma? And then the second question, what part of me that I can create a good karma so that I break the generational curses in my own bloodline. And that way, when I
yeah,
go and connect with another person, I won't affect their karma, you know, and we end up
mm,
entangling ourselves. Yeah, so
mm,
those are the know how you tell the
interesting.
difference if you're in bad karma is it doesn't feel right, but then again, go beyond and asking yourself what is right and wrong because it's not about right and wrong.
Yeah,
Again, that's limiting. You know, you need to go beyond what is right and wrong, meaning, like what is the lesson here when I'm in his
mm,
karma or her karma that's like pain after pain after pain, it turns into suffering. So, because sometimes you are in someone else's karma, maybe it's not for you, your lesson, it's that person's
no,
lesson, like that involves
mm,
you, or the other way around, or it
actually,
can be both at the same time in that journey. And to go deeper, it's because of the soul contract that you sign. This is spiritually speaking because there's different aspects of life. There's 7 aspects of life. It's not just the human aspects, it's also about the spiritual aspect. Because if you don't have a spiritual foundation, which is the most that runs everything in life, then you're just going loop in your own same karma. You don't live in purpose, you're just living in existence. We have to go beyond existence as a human being. Yeah.
great. It's amazing because I think that the next question was about negative patterns in
Mm,
lives that you have people around you affecting you, like the thoughts and feelings, attitudes and personalities of other
yeah,
people. They're always there, and it influences you. And uh, I mean, the signs that you're in other people's bad karma is quite difficult to recognize in when you're
yeah.
in it. And for instance, I have a when you walk in the office one day and you have a person that has really bad karma, you feel they are like making negative energy
Mm,
around the in the whole room.
yeah,
No? But then I read somewhere that had to do a lot with the feelings and the patterns and the personality of that person. If that person is in a bad place, that negativity can also influence others in the
yeah.
room. And that is not for me bad karma. Then it's perhaps something like, okay, he's not feeling good
Mm-hmm.
now. But that bad karma anyway can influence you in a bad way. So what would you say there? How would you then react in that situation? Would you like uh, take care of that person, or would you like ignore that person, or would you like feel empathy about it, or what would your reaction be on that
I
situation?
love your question. So powerful. Thank you for bringing this up. This is wow, amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, in case of that scenario, like you're in an office or a job, or you're an employee and or an employer, like exactly what Stina said. Um, you can really never know how to deal with it if you don't know who you are in the first place. But if you know who you truly are, your truth, you can never be affected by any energy because you stand by your truth. You can handle it. But
yeah,
if you do not know how to handle it, this is what you do. Whether you choose to walk away because you do not know the patterns how to handle and you don't have the tools how to handle it, then walk away. That's making peace with yourself, and that's also healthy boundaries on you and on others as well. You're also teaching others,
mm,
like, hey, this is my boundary, self-respect. It boils down to self-respect. But if you can handle it,
yeah,
there's no way exit strategy for you to exit that conversation that someone is being negative. You can also ask powerful questions, or you can negate the question into like pointing it back towards the person who said it. Like, for example, like, oh, is that what you think? I wonder why you think that way. It's just how you put the words, and then is, it's also about learning how to negotiate how your effective communication skills when it comes to negativity. And also ask yourself, have an inner dialogue in yourself before you answer someone else's negative projection on you, by asking yourself, is this scenario a lesson for me that I need to participate, giving energy to it,
Oh,
or
interesting.
is it
Yeah.
or is it for that person, or should I just walk away so that I make peace with myself? So because I'm not gonna
Mm.
entertain this, I'm not gonna give energy. Then walk away. There's nothing wrong with that. Like again, it goes back to, it's not about right and wrong. It's about how you handle.
No, and I think that's a great point because people are, if you're in a relationship,
Mhm.
abusive relationship, or if you have a friendship that is not
Yeah.
working, then you can choose to go away from that if it has a negative influence on
Mhm.
you, because you are not actually the person responsible for that other
Exactly.
person's
Yeah.
feelings and how he. But you can of course be there if you want to. But if it takes too long and too much energy
Yeah.
of you, then of course you should leave. But I'm just curious then, if we go back to your background and your own perspective of pain and purpose. I mean, how has dealing with, I mean, the healing process for
Mhm.
you from the darkest moments? Did you have like specific practices and belief systems or people around you that support you? Because it seems that it was a not that long journey, but it was a lot of traumas involved in it. So can you? What were your tricks to help healing yourself and also to really come where you are now? Because you're an amazing person, you've always been, of course, but it must took a lot of strength for you and beliefs for you and confidence and courage. So what did you do to heal around your own traumas and find your make your pain your purpose actually?
Yeah. Well, thank you again. That's a wonderful questions. And yeah, um, first of all, number one is surrender. Surrender to the universe. Surrender, because just so you know, you don't have to do this all by yourself. Sometimes it does feel alone because nobody is actually there to understand your darkness when you're going through your healing journey back to your self love, and that's okay. It's okay to cry. I One of my process is I let myself feel the angerness, the frustration, the guilt, the grieving process. I sat with my grief after losses, as we mentioned before.
Mm,
And then when I start with my grief, this is also part of surrendering yourself. And through meditation is one of the, and that meditation lead me to my spiritual truth. And the spiritual
yeah.
truth is my foundation to understand the patterns of emotions, because emotion is energy in motions. And when you understand energy that is in motion all the time, it doesn't stop, and then you start learning how to regulate your own emotions, emotions of anger, emotion of frustration, stress, depression, anxiety, and then how to
Mm,
spiral up to emotion of acceptance, acknowledgement, enlightenment, kindness, empathy, you know and those are part of my technique, is learning how to understand emotions, which is energy in motions. And when you understand that, that's the beginning of surrendering with your awareness and then acceptance. Then you start now you start them you start learning how to trust yourself, how to start in having an inspired actions. And the inspired actions is driven by your truth. And what is your truth? It's
mm,
layers and layers. It's not just one truth, it's layers, different. And I can explain about what is truth to people. Is like you're looking at this cell phone, you're looking this truth, and I'm looking at the back, and someone is looking on the side, right? So what is truth?
yeah.
It's up to you to discover your own truth. If you wanna go shift your mind on how what you see it from your end, or you can sit on the other people's and on this side, or you can sit on the other side. It's up to you to discover and have experiences, because truth is about layers of experience or different sides of experiences. And those are my technique, is like I was willing to discover different experiences in order to discover different kinds of truth. So that way, when pain comes, because pain will always be there, I know how to deal with it without, without
Mm.
losing my core values, but still stay as authentic as I am. And you only attract people that are hungry for those kind of truth about themselves too. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. I think it's great because I had another question also about this, about your journey, because it's beautiful how we have our greatest challenges to fuel our work we do today,
Mm.
right? That's the impact that we have on, we want to make an impact on the world, right? From what we experience. And but how do you show up in the world today? I mean, who are Eleanor today if you differ from the person before the journey? Can you explain that? I mean, I hear it, but in your own
In my
words.
own words, who am I
Yeah.
today versus the
Yeah, what is the difference? What have you? I mean, you find your purpose. You are have the drive to, and you have the personality, and everything is beautiful. But were you always like this, or has something changed within you?
uh, part of
No.
me, I'm embracing being human, and then because we are all, there's a saying there, we are all spiritual being experiencing human experiences, and that's a wonderful quote, because there's so many layers
Yeah.
of us. So who am I today in my healing journey? Today I am aliveness, and that's an essence of the I am, aliveness. And aliveness is you feel so alive in this season of your life, and then the next season, who knows what you call, what essence you're gonna embody in your own truth. So I'm embodying my aliveness today. And from compared to yesterday's or yesteryears of my life, I felt like I was in a discovery of acceptance of all the good, the bad, and the ugly of what happened in my healing journey, and learning to
Yeah.
make peace with
I
that,
imagine.
the good, the bad, and the journey. It's not
Mm.
hard. I mean, it's hard. It wasn't easy, to be honest with you. It's a lot of letting go, shedding off, and then a lot of acceptance of my new version of me, which is I call the healed version of me. And if you are in your healed version of you, and you will be in a lot of surprises what the universe can give you, and you are in a receiving mode. I am in my receiving stage, or I can call it I am in my contribution stage in my life. Being feeling alive. Yeah.
Great. You are
Yeah.
great. But what version of yourself were you struggling the
uh,
most? Which version of yourself
I'll say that again, you were
would you say?
cutting.
Which version, you're talking of different versions and layers of yourself, but which version of yourself was you struggling the most in life? What person were you then? Just
What
to
was I then before my aliveness is like I was a I was a truth seeker, more like it, a truth seeker. I keep searching truth. I keep searching truth, and to the point I said to myself, when are you gonna have grace and just enjoy where you are in every layers, every season of your life,
yeah,
So I would say I was in my I was like, seeking for truth that I felt like not enough. So I keep on having those different
yeah,
experiences in my life, different countries, and to the point, sometimes you need to stop asking questions sometimes and just learn to embrace where you are at in life in every season and just enjoy that. Or if you're going through tough
yeah,
time, just pause, learn to pause, and yeah. So versus seek a person who seek the truth, and then doesn't mean I have stopped seeking the truth. I am still seeking different layers now of truth, and but this time I'm like, I feel like I need to give first and pay respect where I am right now in my aliveness. But between where I was to where I am, I call it the I am in my state of grace. I am in my state of grace.
Oh, man,
You
that's
know,
beautiful.
yeah.
Then what can you more reach than that? It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, because
Be in the
state of
state of grace.
grace is
Yeah,
it's like an oceans of grace, like oceans and
yeah,
oceans and oceans. And you are part of that ocean. You're not separated from it. Because once you say that I'm separated from it, again, you go back to misalignment from your truth. You're not living in your truth. But if we are all collective, we are all one, and most people do not understand that, and that's when self-doubt comes in, that I'm not enough, stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah,
And if you start having a mindset of shifting of that we are all one, you then the way you treat people in your relationship and yourself is based on love, truth, and peace.
yeah. Beautiful. I think people, younger generations today, they have so much influence of the external influences that are so negative, right? Uh, I have I have sometimes boycotted the news
Yeah.
because I think it's a lot of negativity. And I can imagine people that are on the phones every day, every night, young people that are staying at night to look at TikTok or whatever, social media, and they got so many negative influences around them, right? So what would you say to put to them? What advice would you give them to protect their energy and not fall into the
Mm.
other people's negativity? Because I think for us that we are a bit older now, we have gone through a journey. People that are not having that experience that we have had, because we have had that. We have had traumas. We have transformed our lives and done that. But people that are in the state where they are in the beginning, they are perhaps much younger than us, but they have a difficult life. And what would you give them for advice to protect their energy and to not get influence and get the purpose and find the peace within them? What would you say about that?
Wow, I like that question. Yeah, what how to protect your own energy is this is not gonna be easy for most people. Is set healthy boundaries. When you set healthy boundaries, you pay respect on yourself. These are your non-negotiable self-care. Because if you don't have boundaries, people will walk all over you. You can empathize. People are mostly
Mm,
focused on empathy, but then they forget to have setting boundaries. Because without boundary, empathy is not effective enough to actually to growth for yourself and others. Because if you can't empathize just to please people, again, that's pleasing just to for you to like them or them liking you, you're still not growing. So but if you add setting boundaries by knowing who you are first, then then you can then you can protect your energy from negativity, because if you don't have boundaries, negativity will always be there to attack you, because you don't know who you are, because negativity is just there, or fear is just there saying to you, who do you think you are? You think
mm,
you can handle me, you know yeah. So yeah, it's all about setting boundaries first of all, but know your boundaries by knowing who you are, which is your truth. Do
mm.
you know who you are, so you can set boundaries, and then you can empathize later whether that person is worthy enough of your truth. If they cannot handle your truth, they're not supposed to be in your life, and be okay with that. Have peace with that. I know it's not going to be easy, but it's for your own health, because mental health is really important in people's lives.
I agree. What a wonderful
Yeah.
way to end this. I mean, do you have some other questions that you would like to ask me or to say this to the people that are watching now? Because I have really enjoyed this incredible conversation with you, Eleanor. I would like to go on asking questions. So do you have something more that you can like share with the people that are here? Perhaps something about your practices and your programs or something like that you would like to share that could help them?
Yeah, sure. What I would like to ask people first of all is, are you hungry for your growth? If you are hungry, truly hungry, then you are in the right path. Because if you're still walking around and not asking yourself powerful questions, you know, and thinking life will always be there, but life is really really a ticking time, and if you are hungry enough, yeah, grab my book. And this is the book that I have published. You can reach this on Balboa Press, and it's a revised edition, and it with unspoken truth and who are like asking yourself powerful question. Doesn't matter if you're a father, mother, or man, woman, and children, because I wrote this about about young people too, like asking yourself who are you as a child, as a young adult, and as a mother or father, who are you as a husband or wife, and know your I am, because once you know your I am, you can set boundaries, you can protect your energy, you can bend reality and manifest the desires of your heart and break generational curses and build generational blessing in every aspects of life. Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook as well, or my own website, which is gracethroughjourney.com. You can purchase my book in there, easier that way. And I do have a mental health for men, and I'm just launching that one right now. You can join my Facebook group as well. Is for men who wants to learn how to be a high value man. And for women as well, I have five private Facebook group for them, for motherhood, sisterhood, and womanhood. And eventually, I will also have a program for young adults about emotional intelligence for the youth, because it's so important to develop this at a young age and make it normal in their life, so that way they can know how to navigate their life and learn how to be an author, director, and main character of your own life story, and make it a new normal. Because, yeah, like you said, we've been bombarded with wrong information in this world and living a lie, because you don't want to wake up one day like, oh no, I've been living a lie and nobody told me. So one day your own story will be a guideline to others, like I have written myself. This is just book volume 1. I'm working on volume 2 because it's a long story of mine, and I love to expand more of my wisdom and share more of my wisdom in the current moment I'm going through. Yeah.
Wonderful. And buy her book. She's amazing and she has so much wisdom. I would like to really thank you. And
Thank
your
you.
stories is testaments of real resilience and self-awareness and courage. So thank you again.
Thank
And
you.
to everybody that is listening, I hope Eleonora's words has inspired you to also tune into her Facebook group and also join her in her programs, because I think you do an amazing job. If you also have the target group for young adults, it's where you have to start actually to transform your life in a younger age. So perfect. Um, I think for you people that are listening now, if this episode resonates with you, I encourage you to share it with someone also, and also to, as always, I would like to thank you for joining us. And you see the subscribe button here and also the QR code. So please go on the channel to subscribe to my channel and also to share this message to the world, because it is so much easier for the young adults to have people like us to help them on their journey.
Mhm.
So thank you again. And thank you, Eleonora. Have a lovely
Thank
evening
you.
and day. I think it's day at your place, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Bye for now.